I'm easy. I spin more racks. Young Chris, waiting for the, not going to say it, waiting for a certain album to drop from Drake. JB's moving the ones and twos. We're also joined by the morning Woodward shows, Flannel Sam's, also part of the brand new Woodward Sports Show, Rivals, coming out next Saturday?
Saturday.
Nice. Can't wait for that one. All right, but before we went to break, J.J. McCarthy wasn't named a captain of this Michigan team. I feel like he was a big reason why they beat Ohio State last year. A big reason why they had a fighting chance in that playoff game, in my opinion, too, last year.
And also a big reason why they lost it.
That part is actually fair.
Everything you guys both mentioned is true, by the way.
Yeah.
They can all be true.
Do you take anything away from him not making a captain? When you look at guys who have had captaincies, we're talking about Justin Fields, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, Peyton Thorne.
Why'd you start two Ohio State guys and piss them off already?
Peyton Thorne. Cade McNamara was a captain last year.
You know what?
I don't really care about it. Like, for me, it's the Connor Cook thing. Like, oh, you didn't get invited to the birthday party all over again. Like, go out there and perform. I don't care if you're a captain or not. But does that mean anything to you?
This is much ado about nothing. Yes, much ado about nothing. I will say that again. This is a nothing burger 0.0. This is where Michigan having a lot of returning experienced players really plays to their advantage. Think about it. Does anybody have a problem with Blake Corum being a captain? Obviously not. He's the most obvious captain in the world.
Better, though.
But Blake Corum has obviously been there longer, and Blake Corum is a great college player, at least. I think Donovan Edwards is better, but
Donovan Edwards has a little Kanye to him, too, so he doesn't want to, he might not want to make him a captain.
That guy's worth number one.
Hey, I mean,
he's too Kanye.
That's that's actually I don't hate that point easy, but what do you think of Zach Zinner and Trevor Keegan? Those are two players who are starters on back-to-back Joe Moore award-winning offensive linemen, and they are back. You got Mike Sanderstill and Michael Barrett, two of their best defensive players who have been there since 2019, and you got Chris Jenkins, who is an NFL defensive tackle. He may be a first or second round pick, who was. Yes, the mutant who was on their last two great defensive lines, coming back for a third consecutive year on another great defensive line. They have a lot of good and experienced leaders and players on their team. J.J. McCarthy, all I care about is that he has a great season. All I care about is Michigan is undefeated, goes to the college football playoff, and wins the national championship. I could not care less about all the captain shit. That's why when people were asking me today, like, oh, do they have to be seniors? I don't even know because I don't care.
Don't care. Does not matter.
Now, what's it mean though for like?
Don't care.
Because I think was it you that called him a first round pick? Like
yes.
Now, what does it mean for something like that? Because Connor Cook was a talented guy in college. Like I like Connor Cook a lot. Douchebag. Didn't get the C. Didn't pan out in the NFL.
I met him a couple times.
How about that prediction?
I mean, well, here's another thing though about Connor Cook.
At the quarterback position, especially, like you expect some amount of leadership there.
But Spencer, and you will admit this well, was Connor Cook's 2015 season not a rousing success?
Yeah, it was for sure.
And that's the thing. All it mattered was that he went out on the field and played very, very well. I mean, Michigan State made the college football playoff. It was probably their most successful season overall since they were winning national championships in the 60s. And if J.J. McCarthy goes out and leads Michigan to another college football playoff and even takes them even further to a natty and even puts up better numbers and Michigan opens the offense up a little bit more, it's not going to matter. All this captain stuff, all that like rah-rah stuff, it doesn't mean a thing to me, especially when you have proven leaders, great players on your team who have played huge roles in previous Big Ten championship teams. It's nothing. I don't care. And I'm not just saying that. I don't think the Connor Cook stuff was a big deal either.
No, I don't think so either. I'm with you on that. I couldn't care less.
Do you think he's a first-round pick?
JJ, he's got the talent. I don't know if he'll be able to show that talent to be picked that high, but we'll see.
I don't know that he's a first-round pick either.
I think he's really good, man. What's Michigan's touchdown record for a quarterback?
25.
25.
Yes.
Does he break that this year?
He better.
He better.
Yes, he better at this point.
He better.
We'll see. They don't like to throw the ball a lot, man. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and that's why, like, when I talk about stuff how J.J. McCarthy is the most talented quarterback in Michigan history and how he's going to break the touchdown record, it's not like he has to break a touchdown pass record of 45. Michigan has had a lot of very, very good quarterbacks, but they've never really opened up the offense a whole lot, especially back when football wasn't really like that. I mean, they've had Chad. I think the record is tied by Chad Henne and Elvis Gerbach. Again, very, very solid college quarterbacks.
Elvis.
Chad Henne was a second-round draft pick, but still, it's just they're not quarterback you. Their last first-round draft pick at quarterback was Jim Harbaugh.
Their last first-round draft pick at a skill
Jim Harbaugh
possession.
was a first-round pick?
Yeah,
yes.
He was good. He was good, man.
He was a Heisman finalist
Yeah,
at Michigan.
He was really good. Their last first-round draft pick at a skill position was Braylon Edwards.
Yeah. Well, that's going to change with Donovan Edwards, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't.
Running back is like
running back is.
He's going through some things
Unless
right now.
he wins the
Position
Heisman,
himself.
I doubt he goes in the first round, man. They don't like running backs in the NFL.
Okay, but he's
worthy of a first-round talent.
Well, hold on, though, because we're speaking as Detroit Lions fans who just grabbed Jahmyr Gibbs with their first pick in the first round.
Yeah.
And then you had Bijan part of that
I don't
too.
mean to interrupt, but I was about to say, do you think that Donovan Edwards will end up being a better prospect than Jahmyr Gibbs? Because I absolutely do.
Yeah. I can see him being that, yeah.
And I understand, it depends on a team's certain needs. But Donovan Edwards, I think that the season that he could possibly put up, he's not going to get the usage of a Bijan Robinson, but I think he is going to be about as good of a prospect. I think he's a better pass catcher, even though Bijan Robinson is an underrated pass catcher.
No, yeah, you're talking about Jahmyr.
Does he come out next year?
Oh, yeah.
Donovan for sure.
100%.
Yeah. Like, after this year, he's
yeah.
You don't think he's coming back?
Unless here's the other thing too with Michigan being like, oh, Michigan, all this money, all these doctors, unless NIL deal's giving him the bag, there's no way he's not coming out next year. Like the thing with Blake not coming out, obviously the knee injury too. Yeah, but also I don't know that he would have been a third round probably.
I don't know. I don't know if his
round
draft stock can get any higher at this point. He had a Heisman level season last year.
And again, so the contract of a third round pick versus a NIL deal where you're a borderline star on that team that's, by the way, fighting for a national championship. He definitely he's going back. But Donovan Edwards, he's going to the draft all day.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and the whole Blake Corum stuff, who knows? And I agree with Spenny. I don't think he's ever going to be higher than a third or fourth round draft pick, but he can make himself a legacy as the most productive running back in Michigan football history and the most successful. If he has another great year and Michigan wins a natty, Blake Corum is going to have a statue built.
What?
A statue?
You don't mean that, do you?
Blake Corum's going to have a statue.
You're saying that for effect, right?
If they win a national championship and he has
Blake Corum's getting a statue.
Why are you talking about Blake Corum like he's some bum now? Come on now.
He's not even the best running back on his own team.
But he might be the most productive, and he was the most productive last year.
No, that's Donovan Edwards got the keys now.
Yeah.
No.
Blake Corum's change of pace guy.
No.
Yeah. You see what he did? Donovan Edwards going to be him.
Donovan Edwards is a better back right now, but Blake Corum is
If Donovan Edwards doesn't get more touches than Blake Corum,
not right now,
then I would be upset as a Michigan fan. Donovan Edwards should get more touches.
So are you basically saying that Donovan Edwards is Bijan Robinson and Blake Corum is Roshan Johnson? Is that basically what you're saying should happen? I know different players, but is that what you're basically saying?
As long as Donovan's the number one, because he is.
He's a better player. But
all right, Michigan goes out, wins a championship this year. Who do you think's more? Whatever. Who do you think attributes more to that? Donovan Edwards or Blake Corum?
I think it's going to be about 50-50.
Who do you think is a bigger X factor?
I mean, Donovan Edwards is going to have quite a few splash plays, I will say.
Did you just come yourself thinking about the championship?
Oh, I mean, thinking about the national championship, yes. Bro.
Drake's Fat D.
Drake's Fat D.
Coming soon.
Is it? Are we having a themed show?
Oh, man.
All right, well, because your guy doesn't let nonsense go. I can't let the statue thing go.
Okay, fine.
Come on.
Well, and my nonsense might not necessarily be yours. When I say nonsense, I say what I perceive as nonsense. I just think that, Blake Corum's that guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it nonsense to say that Donovan Edwards has more receiving yards than Roman Wilson next year?
Say that one more time.
Donovan Edwards has more receiving yards
than Roman Wilson next year.
That's a little. I think that's aggressive, as Neil Rule would say.
I don't
All
know,
right.
man.